Welcome to the 19th episode of the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are currently watching a lot of the Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order leading up to the release of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Today we are discussing some Tales of the Underworld, some Tales of the Empire, the Solo movie, Solo a Star Wars story, the Obi-Wan show, Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's a lot of stuff, isn't it? But this is, we are currently the year 10/9 BBY with some stuff that might be a little questionable, maybe closer to 0 BBY. We're not entirely sure what's going on with Lynn and Barriss, the Inquisitor girlies. But we'll cover that. We'll talk about that. But yeah, for the most part, we're like halfway between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. So that's where we are. I'm Fatheree. This is Taylor. Y'all might know us from the TEX-TREK podcast. Say hi, Miss Taylor.
Hello.
So, this is going to be some fun stuff to talk about. Some Tales of the Underworld and Tales of the Empire. Those are always kind of like short and sweet, you know. Like, good animation, not a ton of story, but...
Yeah, it's mostly vibes.
Yeah, mostly vibes.
Mostly aesthetic.
Mostly stuff that's, I would say, like, decent, pretty good.
Yeah.
This show and this movie, however, we jokingly refer to these. Remember what I was calling this particular movie and show with the Solo movie and the Kenobi show? No. But I referred to these as the most mid Star Wars movie and the most mid Star Wars show. So we can discuss and see if we think that's true. Our dog Amos is getting in on the discussion. He's rolling around on the floor acting a damn fool because he's ready for some Star Wars talk. So anyone out there watching or listening to us live, like Joel is watching live, you will be able to see our famous spreadsheet. Otherwise, you don't really need to look at it to enjoy the podcast, but if you want to, there's a link wherever you're watching or listening to us that you could use to access our spreadsheet. But this just chronicles all of the Star Wars that we have watched thus far on this chronological journey and what we are planning on doing next. I just want to quickly point out that we passed the part of Star Wars that I guess I messed up. I should mention that some of the stuff is in 18 BBY, the Tales of the Underworld stuff. So today's discussion ranges from 18 BBY to possibly 0 BBY. Okay. We don't know when that Inquisitor stuff was.
That's right.
That could have been like right before the Death Star blows up, for all we know. Or like, I don't know. That could have been like during Empire Strikes Back, I guess. Barriss did look quite a bit older, but I mean, you know, Bo-Katan ages like fine wine, and Luke and Leia age like a dried out dog turd out in the sun.
All right.
But we also passed the part of Star Wars where the recently released Maul series takes place, which that's been described to me as, I've heard Sam Witwer, voice actor who plays Maul, say that show is 1 year after the Clone Wars, and I've also seen like Wikipedia place it at 18 BBY. So I don't know, maybe like around that time. So Taylor and I, we did watch the 4 episodes that are out. I know we've totally like dated this show. This is no longer like a timeless, a timeless listen. People be like, oh, they listened to this when Maul was coming out season 1. I think there's going to be a season 2. I don't know. I haven't looked at it too much because I don't want spoilers. But we did watch it because I was so worried, like, oh, what if I'm like researching this Tales of the Underworld stuff or this Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff?
He was like, I can't look at this Wikipedia page on this actor because what if they're in the Maul show and then I find out that they're in the Maul show because of this? And I was like,
joke's on me. I didn't have time to look up any of that stuff anyway, so it didn't really matter. But
we watched it.
Yes.
And we're not going to cover that in our chronological watch until all of its release. We'll do like one big Maul discussion.
Yeah, at some point after Grogu, we'll circle back to Maul.
Yeah.
Because we can't just like just stay in like a holding pattern of like 18 BBY for 4 weeks.
I know, it would take too long.
Yeah, we have the history of the Star Wars universe to explore. So
yeah, but it is good so far. So we're excited to talk about it once it's all out.
So starting off, we're going to talk about Tales of the Underworld episodes 1 through 3, aka the Asajj Ventress episodes. The last thing Taylor and I have discussed on the Other Star franchise with y'all was The Bad Batch. We covered all 3 seasons. Asajj Ventress appears in season 3. It's also debatable if that appearance takes place before or after this Tales of the Underworld stuff. And I say this Tales of the Underworld stuff is after the Bad Batch stuff, because the Stormtroopers look like original trilogy Stormtroopers and not the early version TK Troopers introduced in the Bad Batch. So.
And also, she has a kid with her in this arc, so it would be weird if they just didn't show up in the Bad Batch.
She might just drop them off at like the nearest like truck stop space station they go to.
She's like, here, go gather groceries while I go and look at Omega's M count.
Or just do a classic like, I'm going down to the store to get cigarettes and just never come back.
But yeah, so the Tales of the Underworld, we have episode 1, A Way Forward.
Yeah, what happens then?
After Asajj Ventress dies, her body is taken to Dathomir by Quinlan Vos and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Mother Talzin tells Ventress that she can return to life due to her love for Quinlan, but the price is her heart's desire. Ventress accepts this. During the Empire's reign, she reluctantly helps a young Padawan who is searching for, quote, the path, a secret route Quinlan established for surviving Jedi. They escape after fighting and killing an Inquisitor. Yeah,
we should also say that the opening little like prologue thing, I guess that actually takes place near the tail end of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, significantly in the past.
Yeah, and we talked about her death. We talked about the book Dark Disciple. Mm-hmm. So if that confuses you, go listen to the stuff we already talked about. But yeah, so she encounters this Inquisitor. She encounters this young Jedi survivor, and then we get episode 2, Friends.
Ventress and the Padawan Lyko Strata meet with the former's bounty hunter acquaintance Latz Ratzi and her droid assassin C-21 Heisinger. In return for information about the path, Razi enlists Ventress and Lyko's help in stealing an Imperial Shield relay unit. When the heist fails, Razzie and Heisinger attempt to collect a bounty on Lyko instead. Ventress stops them and forces Razzie to give them coordinates to the path.
And that brings us to episode 3, One Warrior to Another.
On a desert planet, Ventress and Lyko encounter a former separatist and his granddaughter who have been fighting a tribe of raiders over a water source. When the raiders attack again, Lyko is able to communicate with them. He and Ventress convince the man to stop fighting and share the water with the tribe. One of the tribesmen directs the pair to the path, but they decide not to go and instead continue traveling together.
Yeah, it's like the old classic, the watering hole.
Yeah, honestly.
It can't be contested. The watering hole has to be neutral ground, right? Go watch The Jungle Book, right? Is that where that was? I got that from some movie.
Lion King.
Oh, Lion King. Go get it from the Lion King.
Yeah.
They're all owned by Disney.
It's all Disney, yeah.
Including Star Wars,
yeah.
including this fantasy bullshit we're talking about here. It's all fairy tales for children and adults with children brains, like me. But I don't know. We think there's like a lot of like deeper themes to pull out of this stuff. That's what we like to do. Yeah. Especially if we can find leftist messaging in it.
I also really like Ventress protecting Lyko, like, immediately, realizing he's force sensitive. He's, like, trying to, like, buy a ticket or something from this lady, and she's like, that's not enough money, and he tries to, like, tell her that it is enough money, like, and fails.
He sticks out like a sore thumb, like, he's obviously a renegade Jedi.
Yeah, yeah. Ventress is like, God damn it, I finally felt like I had a peaceful life here, and now I gotta save this goddamn kid. I love how upset she is. Like, she's like, ugh, I have to do the right thing. Like, I love that reluctant, this reluctant, redemption arc. Like, she's kind of like, okay, I've been redeemed, and yet I still have to make good decisions. Like, this is so irritating.
Yeah. It's like, oh, but, like, it's just gonna be harder to be a good guy. I should just, like, say to bad guy. That was so much easier. Yeah. She's working security, and then, like, her security co-worker, like, immediately rats out the kid.
Terrible person.
As soon as he hears there, or as soon as she hears there's a reward.
Right.
Yeah, just cool. There's a lot of Inquisitors in this stuff. We're kind of in like the era of like early Empire.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm thinking of this as. And I'm glad that there will be a mall show here, because it does feel like we spent so much time in the fucking Clone Wars and that 3-year war, and now there's like, man, we just leaped like 10 years, and like Luke and Leia went from newborn babies to 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
But as far as like this Tales of the Underworld stuff with the Sage Ventress, the story I guess I like the most is the third one that has the old, I called him like an old neo-Confederate, basically. He's like this old like lost cause Confederate, like the goddamn Yankees won the war and like ruined my life.
He definitely seems like a lost cause at first.
But yeah, he seems like he sees her as like, yo, you're like a separatist hero. You're Lady Ventress. Like you were Dooku's shadow. We loved you. It's just kind of funny to see her come face to face with him and bring up that old life, and her have to again like reject it and be like, no, like it's not that when he's like, see, the Republic won and they just became the Empire. They're all terrible now. We were the right side, and she was like, no, like our side sucked too.
Yeah, she's like, there was no winners in the war. That was a pretty good message she got.
That's kind of how I feel about like the Civil War, because the Confederacy was terrible, and then like the Union became an evil empire. So
yeah, definitely thought that the aliens on this planet were one of those planets.
It's one of those planets.
One of those planets.
Like that Wolfpack clone said.
But yeah, it was pretty. I don't know, like he called them animals at one point, and that they're like savages and stuff.
It's very like watching like a Western. Like this is how like people talk about like Native Americans.
Yeah.
It's like these savages on our land. We're not safe.
Yeah, it was like,
I'm just trying to protect my family by ethnically cleansing this territory.
It's like, here, Grandpa, I'm gonna slip something into your drink. But yeah, it all kind of works out. I would think Lyko was a really likable kid Jedi.
It seems like they would be obvious characters to bring into the mall show. So I was kind of hoping that they show up over there at some point.
We'll see.
So yeah,
we're like
we
halfway
will
through the
see.
show already, so I don't think they will.
Yeah, we've seen 4 of the 10 episodes. Well, I feel like they won't in season 1.
Oh, is it 10 or 8 episodes?
It's 10.
Okay, cool.
I believe, yeah. It was 2 a week for 5 weeks, I think.
Okay. But, yeah, I really like Lyko. He's really fun. He is very positive, little optimistic. Like, he's the complete opposite of Ventress. Like, he's super outgoing. He wants to make friends. He's like, Jedi are great. I love having my powers. Let's talk to animals. Let's fix these things. And she's, like, moaning and groaning the whole time.
In the second episode, Friends, they're betrayed by her bounty hunter friends, Latz Razzie and her droid Highsinger.
Right.
Because the heist they team up with them to pull off, when that doesn't work, they're like, oh, well, this kid is a Jedi. We can just use him. We'll just collect the bounty on him.
Yeah. They're like, backup plan.
The Empire pays good for these ex-Padawans.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she was like willing to like leave Ventress behind. So Latz Razzie kind of sucks as a friend.
Yeah.
See, I didn't trust her because she has like those those big feet.
I honestly feel like every bounty hunter though, when they're friends with other bounty hunters, like they're
Some
not.
Some of them are a little bit more friends. Some of them are.
They're like co-workers, and like they always understand that they're always gonna take the best deal, like whatever works best for them.
It's like the pirate code from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Anything else on Ventress's arc with Lyko?
I don't think so. I think not much in these Tales of the Underworld things. Cool to see her with the yellow lightsaber.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So yeah, like why create all that just for these short little brief ass 15, 16, 17 minute Tales of the Underworld episodes?
Yeah.
Like we need more Ventress.
I agree. I love her.
Like it was dumb to undo her death and resurrect her. I kind of think it's like a cheap resurrection. I mean, like, okay, like Night Sisters, like, they can bring back zombies, so...
Oh, that's a good point to bring up, is, like, she does see Quinlan and tries to chase after him, and then, like, when she first is revived and can't, like, he can't even hear her.
Yeah.
And then she learns that the path is the secret route from Quinlan, and she knows he's probably on that ship when they're there on the path, but she literally walks away. She's like, I can't go any further than this. There That really bums me out. I hope that sometime... I know you like this rule of, like, magic having a cost. And I agree with that.
Yeah, if you can, like, bring her back to life, then it should be at, like, a cost of something.
But I wish it was a cost of, like, some of her powers instead of the cost of, like, her love with Quinlan Vos.
That's what makes it a sad story.
This is what pisses me off. Another thing that pisses me off about Star Wars is there's no happy couples ever in this show. And, like, no one ever stays together for very long, and they almost always end up dying. So, like, or, like, one of them dies or whatever. And, like, this is, like, one of the examples where one died but then came back to life, but they can't be together because of magic. But, like, if you think about the other ones, like, okay, Padme and Anakin, terrible couple, first of all. But, both.
Hera and Kanan, though, they don't...
Yeah.
Owen and Beru.
Satine and Obi-Wan, even, like, there's... It's complicated.
Who's the happily ever after married? Like, even, like, Bail Organa, like, he seemed to, like... happily married to his wife, to Leia's adoptive mom. Yeah. But their planet gets blown up. They both get killed.
Yeah. So. It's fucking awful. But yeah, maybe that is like one of the better examples.
Palpatine and Sly Moore. His bald-headed Umbaran chick.
Oh, you don't think he's dating the horn dude?
I don't know.
The other one is the Andor couple. One of them dies.
Yeah, Bix dies.
Also, no, Bix doesn't die. She's their.
You're right. Cassian dies. Yeah, spoilers
but they also
for
get
Rogue
like
One.
split up. You know what I mean? And
she leaves the show basically. So yeah, it's not a happily ever after.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's rough. I'm sure things work out for the two kids in this movie, Solo, a Star Wars story.
Oh, yeah. Here's another example of a love story that... Actually, multiple. There's a couple of them in here that end up dying and failing.
Yeah.
Dude, like, immediately, like, we meet Woody Harrelson's character
it's kind of like,
dies.
This is the examples that a young Solo... This is kind of what turned him into, like, a jaded asshole. This is why he's the jaded cynic when we meet him in that cantina.
Partially. He also has a few more years to be, I guess, growing all these issues with the gangs and the bounty hunting and all that. Like, that's going to wear him down, too.
I'm excited to talk about this movie, though. Okay. Even though I started the show calling it the most mid Star Wars movie.
It's pretty mid. It took me a long time to watch it. But I'll let you give a synopsis on it. Have fun.
Well, the movie opens with a young Han jacking speeders on the mean streets of Corellia, working for the White Worm gang or whatever it's called. He's working for like some scary Muppets. Yeah, very Star Wars.
Yep.
But him and his girl, Kira.
Not to be confused with Kira.
Played by Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. But she has brown hair instead of blonde hair to remind you that you're watching Star Wars, not Game of Thrones.
Right.
But he tries to run off with her, but he ends up fleeing from these criminal connections he's made. He runs off to join the military, join the Empire. He is set on becoming a pilot, but instead he is fighting
in the infantry.
Yeah, he's fighting wars in the mud for a fascist state that doesn't care about him because he didn't have any other opportunities in life. And maybe this way, like, they'll pay for his college. And this is why, after the 2008 recession in the United States, people didn't have to worry about how the military was going to recruit anymore because there's enough poor young people that they'll just volunteer to join the military and go commit war crimes and make the universe a worse place. But we have Solo doing that until he breaks off with Woody Harrelson as Tobias Beckett, right, in this criminal gang, and he's going to go do crime, and then they get in over their head, trying to do a big heist for a big-time gangster, Drayden Voss. Turns out he is now working with young Kira, has moved her way up in the dark, shady criminal underworld, which is kind of like heartbreaking to Han. He's like, that was like my childhood sweetheart, and like...
Wait.
What kind of terrible life has she lived?
Did you already say that he met Chewie on the planet?
No, he does. He meets Chewie as Chewie like joins the gang as Han does. So
and during the heist, Tobias loses his wife and their pilot.
Yeah, another Jon Favreau appearance. So he's been pre-Vizsla in Clone Wars. Now he's Rio, the pilot dude in Solo, and he'll eventually be the showrunner on The Mandalorian, but also voice Pav Vizsla, and that is Pav the son? I don't know. Anyways,
Enfys Nest steals the stuff.
Right.
It blows up. Nobody gets it. And they have to go crawling back to Dryden Voss. And, right, Dryden, did I say his name right?
Dryden, whatever.
And they basically have to come up with a plan to get the coaxium.
Yeah, so we get the Kessel Run, like the classic Star Wars Kessel Run.
Stop scratching.
Which, Taylor, you said that you wasn't sure why that was parsecs when I asked you. I can explain that. I don't know if I want to do that now, but along the way they also recruit Lando and the Millennium Falcon, and we meet the grumpy droid L3, who becomes part of the navigational computer, and Ron Howard's brother Clint Howard has a cameo in there. But we go to Kessel. We've seen it before in Clone Wars. We're going to see it again in Rebels. But we have a droid rebellion, a slave rebellion, a daring escape past an Imperial blockade, and a big climactic Kessel Run that then, like the movie, drags for the last 40 minutes and deals with the Drayden shit because they end up having to double cross them because they give all of the hyper fuel that they stole to Enfys Nest, who turns out that her gang, the Cloud Riders, or whatever they're called, they're actually based on like this old like Star Wars gang from Han Solo's origins as it was told in the comics. But they're like legit assholes. Here, like the twist is like, oh, they're actually like they're like an early like rebel band, except they're more like, instead of rebelling against the Empire, they're rebelling against these
syndicates.
These like crime syndicates. Yeah. So. Han shoots Tobias first because Tobias tries to double cross him a couple times. And
hey, show your shirt.
Oh yeah, my shirt says Han shot first because we don't do special edition in this house. We'll watch every other fucking form of Star Wars, but we're still gonna watch the despecialized trilogy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they go to do jobs for some big time gangster on Tatooine. Jabba the Hutt.
Right. Very good synopsis.
Oh, and Darth Maul shows up to turn a lightsaber on and off because every Star Wars movie has to have a lightsaber.
And looks weird as shit. He looks pink.
Yeah, never get Ray Park to be Maul again. Just only do him in animation.
That is a really good point.
He looked ugly as fuck.
And I know like pink. It was like a Deadpool face.
I shouldn't talk shit about Ray Park because it sounds like he's like an alcoholic or a drug addict. He's done like weird things. Like he's posting like revenge porn of his wife on Instagram. Shit. And and just like saying like weird stuff that didn't make sense in videos that he would post on Instagram. So it's like it would be even weirder if he wasn't like a drug addict. If there wasn't like
if he's sober.
Like I kind of hope that he is, because at least that's like a good explanation, and like maybe he can get help. But yeah, Maul is just going to belong to the animation world, I think.
Well, I like his voice better in the animation world too.
I mean, I still think like it would have been way cooler if just instead of Maul getting this big reinvention in animation, if they just had like his brother Savage Opress had done all, like they could have done like this could have been like Savage Opress, Shadow Lord as a show. But
like, he's not. I don't think he's as interesting.
Okay, like some people just like really love Darth Maul from. I don't know, like it didn't come from you like initially from like the Phantom Menace, but for a lot of people just have like very vivid memories of just seeing this acrobat from hell flipping around with a double-bladed lightsaber on the big screen when they saw the Phantom Menace.
It's Sam Witwer's voice as Maul is just so captivating. I'm sat like listening whenever he's on screen. I'm like, what do you want? Like he's so cool. I love him. Like he's a terrible character and he does a lot of stupid shit. But
he's
like
such a
I love to
character
watch him
from that movie though.
Yeah, no, totally.
Because he's like a full-on supervillain now. He's just he's just having like monologues.
It's called
like
character growth, Steven. Jesus, he was like, wow, I used to be boring. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be cool as fuck.
It's kind of like I say about like. With almost called Star Trek, the other Star franchise. But
shit!
But it's kind of like in the world of Star Trek, you know, the original series did not flesh out the character Nurse Chapel, and then Strange New Worlds does entire episodes all about her. Yeah. And I kind of feel like they have license to create whatever character they want because there's so little substance there in the original depiction. And I think the same can be applied to Darth Maul.
Yeah. But I do see what you're saying about Savage, but I think visually Maul is more interesting And, like, I think he works better as being, like, a red
And he's
bad
iconic.
guy.
People know who he is. Like, in 1999, he was a part of a huge Star Wars marketing campaign. And, like, that name recognition has still stuck to this day. Because, like, I remember there was a moment, and I guess it would have been, like, in 1998, like, before the trailer started coming out, where they said, like, hey, y'all know about Darth Vader, right? Well, this new Star Wars movie, there's going to be 2 dudes that are named Darth Maul and Darth Sidious. It was like, shit, there's more Darths. And, like, that was like a game-changing thing when that happened. And so, like, you know, I'll never forget the names Darth Maul and Darth Sidious from that moment on. That was a big deal. But yeah, he doesn't have a big role to play in the Solo movie.
But we love to talk about him.
I kind of like his. I mean, like, I think it was real stupid for him to be. It's like such like a forced cameo.
For sure.
But they got a lot of mileage out of that. I think with the comics. Well, the character Kira in the comics goes on to be like a big crime lord.
Okay.
Because I feel like the people at Lucasfilm know, like, yeah, we're probably not going to do, like, more movies with Emilia Clarke.
She's too expensive.
Yeah, so she's not going to come back as Han Solo's ex-girlfriend in anything we're going to shoot live action. Comic book people, y'all do whatever the hell y'all want with her.
Yeah. But I do think that's good. Now that we have the Mole show, we have him established here as the crime syndicate ruler, whatever. And it just ties back in with, like, season 7 of the Clone Wars, where you know that's, like, what he was going for. Yeah. So, I'm into it. I think this is going to be one of those things that, like, once Star Wars makes more and more and more, it's going to make more and more sense. Like...
Yes, and I was just complaining how I need a little bit more in this era, like, between Bad Batch and Solo.
They're doing that.
Because it does feel like, you know, when we were watching, it took forever to go from, like, 22 BBY to 19 BBY, and then that was a huge jump from 18 to 10.
Yeah.
Like, you felt like the universe...
Wait, 8 years later?
Yeah. Like, all of the ships are slightly different. It's like all of the old clone trooper stuff is gone. All the new Imperial stuff is here. I could have used a little bit more transition. That was the most, like, jarring moment we've had since...
Sure.
Before, I guess, like, going from the Acolyte to the Phantom Menace...
was pretty big.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel as big because the characters...
nothing really changed.
Yeah, nothing really changed, and the characters, like, don't...
it's
like, they don't come back in anything else in the future. So it's kind of like, whatever. You know, it's kind of standalone. But, what else did you like about the film?
When did you first see the Solo movie? Like, do you have any memory of, like, initially, like, hearing about it or seeing it?
Okay. I'm a little bit of a Han Solo hater. Man, I really don't... I love the original trilogy, and then I'm like, I hate all the characters in it.
we were just talking about this, not to cut you off, but, like, we were just talking about how if you grew up with the original trilogy, like, everyone's favorite characters was, like, Luke, Leia, Han, or Darth Vader.
Mine was always in that order. Luke, Leia. No, I didn't actually really like Han. Han always kind of scared me. I didn't like how mean he was to everybody, especially to Leia and Luke. And then I still, as an adult, I still, like, watch it and I'm like, he's kind of a dick. Like, he's a red flag. Like, I don't want him to be with Leia. Also, if they didn't get together, then they wouldn't have Kylo Ren disaster. So, what was it we were talking about? So...
When you first heard they were doing a Solo movie.
I didn't want to see it. I was very, like, blech. And they made this... can you remind me what year this came out?
It came out in May of 2018.
So this was after all the sequels.
It came out like 4 months after The Last Jedi.
Is that the last one?
No, that's the second one.
Okay.
It went in this order. It went The Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, Solo, The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. Well, I definitely didn't go see it in theaters. I don't regret that. And then it sat on Disney Plus for a couple years before I watched it. I think I watched it in, like, 2021. Maybe 2022, like late 2022, early 2023. It may have been that late. And I'm pretty sure the only reason I watched it is I was watching, like, I had just finished, like, the Clone Wars rewatch or Rebels rewatch, and it popped up, and I was like, man, this is the only thing I hadn't seen at the time.
Had you seen Resistance?
I had been halfway through Resistance. Maybe
I haven't finished Resistance.
Yeah. So I was like, I hadn't seen The Acolyte if that came out at the same time either. But I don't remember what time that came out.
The Acolyte was later. That was like, well, past COVID, I think, by the time that came out.
Yeah, then it was before Acolyte. So I'm pretty sure it was, like, the only thing left I had to see. And I was pretty reluctant, and I'm pretty sure I was, like, a couple of drinks in, and then decided, okay, I'll watch it. And it was better than I thought.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's mid.
Yeah, it's mid. And I was like, actually, I don't regret seeing that. Like, I was like, okay, but I also don't really want to watch it again immediately.
I mean, it was a movie I was not super excited for, but young Han Solo was something that was a hypothetical my entire life. Because I grew up in an age where Harrison Ford had done Star Wars, he had done Indiana Jones, and there was this little something in the early 90s we call young Indiana Jones. So the idea of doing a young Han Solo always seemed obvious to me. I thought if they were ever going to do a Star Wars TV show, it would be like young Han, because then you could just cast like a tall stuntman as Chewbacca, or maybe get Peter Mayhew back, when he was still active and acting. You get like some unknown kid as Han. You get like a unknown kid as Lando. You could have like Boba Fett show up, or like Dengar, any of those Jabba bounty hunters. And I was like, man, you just like build the Falcon set, and there's your show, and just have like different bounty hunter, or not, they're not bounty hunters. Have different smuggling adventures, But it's like, oh, we got like kind of like the Bad Batch. It's like we're doing a job, delivering a Rancor this week.
Yeah, that actually sounds more interesting than what happened here. I think there are a couple things that were kind of turnoffs for me. Well, one, like, Solo, I didn't feel like I personally needed more on Solo.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying I needed it either. It just always seemed like an obvious thing they would maybe make.
I felt like him being, like, an asshole smuggler kind of, like, does... Like, I feel like every smuggler's going to be an asshole. Like,
and you don't need to know his back. I was like, I can tell you, like, that guy probably, like... He probably didn't come from, like, a family that was super well off.
And,
like,
he, like... is kind of nasty and probably grew up poorly and has been doing all this shit on Tatooine and, but yeah, I also thought, like, the love interest was very forced. I thought, like, there was more chemistry between Tobias and his wife than there was between Kira and Han. Like, there was honestly more chemistry between Donald Glover and... Or what's his name? I'm sorry. Calrissian and Han Solo in this, in my opinion. I'm like, oh, get those two guys
Childish Gambino and Alden Ehrenreich, I think is how you say his name. I had to double check. Who, I think, by the way, Alden Ehrenreich, I think he was good casting.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of times he does kind of embody, there's like a certain charm to Han Solo from, like... maybe he doesn't win over Taylor, but there's like a certain charm to the guy, I think, in Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back that maybe like Harrison Ford wasn't quite trying as hard in The Return of the Jedi.
It's Riker-ness. It's like that, like the same kind of like confidence, arrogance, you know what I mean? And I think the kid, what's his name?
Yeah, like that confident swagger kind of rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah. It does rub me the wrong way. I'm not a big fan of it.
You don't like showy confidence.
It's a little assholey a lot. I think he's more likable in the Solo movie than he is as Han Solo in the original trilogy because he's not as bitter. But yeah, I think the acting is really good. I think this kid, what's his name? Alden? Blah, blah, blah.
Alden Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich.
I think the best part about him is
he was in Supernatural.
voice.
You should know his name.
Oh, shit. I don't know. Who do you play in Supernatural?
I'll look it up.
But I really like his voice. I think that, like, when I would close my eyes or, like, look away and hear him talk, I'd be like, that sounds like a young Harrison Ford to me.
He played Ben Collins in the episode Wendigo.
Oh, damn.
One of the early ones.
So he died early in the episode. He was in the tent in the first 5 minutes and got slaughtered.
Well, it happens.
So, that's a funny episode. Everybody hates it, but I actually really like that one. Now I'm thinking about Supernatural.
Okay. Well, I can talk about Ehrenreich for a little bit.
Sure, go for it.
Kathleen Kennedy, commented on, oh, I'm so proud of that movie we made, but it was just such an impossible job to ask any actor to try to play Han Solo after the great Harrison Ford. There was, a big mistake, and we should never, try to, recast these iconic performances again. And then, I think she said that when they were promoting Obi-Wan Kenobi, though, the next thing we're going to talk about. Hey, Kathleen, I don't know if you know, but Ewan McGregor is not the original Obi-Wan Kenobi. So don't blame it on, having to recast the actor.
It's not casting. It's all writing. And I guess it is part of casting, like, of who you cast. But I think he did a good job. Like, that never occurred to me to think that he was a bad Han Solo. I do like the joke, too, that we get his last name from that guy when he signs up. I think it's funny.
Don't like.
I think it's funny.
I think it's so stupid that this, this most famous iconic name in Star Wars. I can have a dope ass name like Han Solo. Like, yeah, you sound like a badass. And then just like the stormtrooper, or not even a stormtrooper, this Imperial recruitment officer. Yeah. He's just like this recruiter. He's just like your name should be Han Solo.
Well, because he says I'm alone. So he's like, Solo then. And he's like, oh, that's actually a good name. I'll put Solo. I think that was funny. I think it's fun.
It's just annoying when prequels do that. We have to explain everything. We have to show you how he got his blaster, how he met Chewie, how he got the Falcon, how they did the Kessel Run.
Fair. Okay, all of that is fair. Valid points. But I wasn't mad about the Solo thing. I thought that was really easy thing to include, and it'd be kind of funny.
Just have it be like you call yourself that. Not just I'm an orphan. I call myself Solo. Just be like, okay, kid.
That's kind of depressing, though, because you're self-assigned.
I feel like if I made this movie, it would have been more depressing. If I was making this movie, I would have had Han be this true believer. He's so patriotic and wants to join the Empire. And he goes and does it, and he's like, oh my god, I was ordered to shoot babies in the face. I fucked this Empire. I guess everything is terrible. And then he just becomes this very jaded cynic. And then when he meets Luke and Leia in the original trilogy, and he learns there actually are good people in the galaxy, and I should join the fight along their side. And I would have made that his arc, but they didn't quite do that.
He is very optimistic in this. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been closer to Andor, the show I wanted to make. We're talking about that next time.
Yeah. But I don't know. Any other thoughts on? I thought some of it kind of went on too long, and I think would have been more I really like the train heist part. I think that was so
there's some
good.
Great sequences in the movie.
It's really interesting. The pilot getting shot is really sad, and then obviously
Rio's a fun character.
Yeah.
And I like him when he's asking Han oh, what are you out here for? What do you care about on Corellia? Is it revenge? Is it riches? Or oh, it's love? Mm-hmm. But he's such a romantic kind of swashbuckler type. It's I don't know. It's just kind of cool. He's a fun pulpy character.
Yeah, and I also liked that group of bounty hunters, I guess is kind of what they are.
Yeah. Tobias kills Aurora Singh.
Allegedly.
I think they explain that in the comic, but
I like how Han Solo meets them. He thinks they're captain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think all that was really well integrated. We're oh, these characters are trying to be undercover, and he accidentally stumbles upon their operation.
Yeah.
That I thought was very well written and interesting. He was oh, I'm gonna desert, and y'all need a pilot. Y'all need me. And they're hell no, we don't need you. They get him thrown in the brig. And then he recruits Chewie, and then he's actually, hey, I'm back, and I brought a friend. And they're okay, I guess.
He proved himself. That was kind of his trial.
Yeah.
That was his audition.
It was so interesting. And
it was well done, yeah.
The front part of the movie was so good.
Oh, yeah, that stuff is really good, all the way up through the train heist. Then it's kind of weird after the train heist. We have, the sad moment, and people have died. And then Drayden Voss is just, right there. Yeah. It's just, I guess he just takes his, pleasure ship around. He just follows.
He's on pickup duty.
Yeah, he's just always nearby for the rendezvous point. I like that fish who sings Frank Sinatra. Or it's kind of funny.
I think he's that quick because the coaxium is so, one, expensive, and two, blows up.
You gotta get it refined quickly.
Well, they on the train it was already refined.
Okay.
But I think he wants it as quickly as possible, not in the hands of someone else.
In his hands.
Right.
Yeah. Who they actually had someone else cast as Drayden Voss, but they had to reshoot this movie so much, and they couldn't get that guy available for the reshoot. So they're well, we'll just cast a new actor. Yeah, we'll get Jarvis from Marvel and just reshoot all of his scenes. But Joel is pointing out in the live audience, it is amazing the movie's not worse, given that they fired the original directors and the movie was in a lot of production trouble. It sounded like. Yeah, it ended up being it was actually a pretty watchable movie.
Yeah.
I think the look of it is it has a mud filter on. Everything is very murky. Yeah, I wish it was more colorful and bright, and I don't know, dial up the saturation a little bit. But yeah, other than the color grading, it's an adequate movie. It's just mid.
Yeah. And Joel is also bringing up that Lando is the best character here, and it was a good recast.
I've heard that before.
I agree. Like, the only thing that I think when we talked about this movie that I was looking forward to was seeing Donald Glover as Calrissian.
You can tell he's a big fan of The Empire Strikes Back because he can nail the Billy D. Williams cadence.
Yeah, and also just like the expressions are so good. One of my favorite moments of this movie that I had never realized before was when the droid was damaged on the planet and Calrissian was shot in the shoulder and they all come aboard and basically someone says like, Han, fly this ship, and he looks at Lando and is like, is it okay if I fly your... Like, he gets permission.
Yeah, like he's not...
Lando nods at him like, please go fly my
Like,
my
it would have
ship.
been a violation to touch another man's ship controls without his permission.
That was very honorable.
Yeah, that's like very... that was him like showing Lando a lot of respect.
Yeah. And then he completely demolished his ship like immediately, so...
But I love that, like, the Kessel sequence. First of all, like, I thought seeing Kessel was cool because it's like, hey, I've seen that place in Rebels. So, because this was before Season 7 of Clone Wars.
Okay.
So they hadn't gone back there yet. And there was the ugliest Wookiee in the world, but I liked Chewie having a Wookiee buddy and, like, a slave rebellion, and that was cool. Anthony Daniels wanted to make sure his name was still in the credits on every Star Wars movie released, so he voices a droid. But that's a pretty cool action sequence. You know, like they're dealing with the Pikes. Mm-hmm. They run from the Pikes and then the Imperial blockade. And so, okay, I'm going to explain the Kessel Run for people who don't understand it. So in order to go to Kessel, because everyone likes to go to Kessel because that's where you go to get spice from the spice mines of Kessel that we learned about way back in 1977. So in order to get to Kessel, you have to go around the mall, which is this big, like, gravity well object. And so you have to take the long way around. So, like, I think the normal Kessel route takes 20 parsecs to go all the way around.
Right.
Because the gravity is so strong. But if you have, I guess, a fast enough ship, you can cut through closer to the mall and then do it in 16, 14, 12, maybe change the story a little every time you tell it, doesn't matter. But like that's what made it so cool to do the Kessel Run in fewer parsecs. And this all goes back to the 1970s when George Lucas didn't know or didn't care that a parsec is a measurement of distance and not time.
Oh.
So, when he says this is the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs, it kind of sounds like he's talking about a unit of time.
Okay.
And then people who actually knew what a parsec was watched the movie and was like, that sounds weird. That's a unit of distance. So, but now it makes sense.
Okay. Very cool. I did like also that he says, not if you round down to Chewie.
Yeah. Well, that's the joke that, like, he keeps changing. Because I think he says in Star Wars that it made it in 12 parsecs.
Okay.
And then in this movie he says 14. And Chewie's like, arr, and then he's like, well, not if you round down, pal. And then I think in The Force Awakens he claims it's 10 parsecs.
Wow.
To Rey. So he keeps...
He's a little bit... forgetful in
yeah,
his old age. He's like, I don't even remember.
Where he just
I've lied so many times.
Yeah, he just keeps exaggerating the amount that feels like the right exaggerational amount.
That was pretty funny, though. I liked that joke.
But the actual, like, here's like a Star Destroyer. And it's like, well, yeah, it has like the Imperial music from 1977. Not the Imperial March, but it's like the Imperial motif. And it was they do kind of recreate the moment of when they escape from the Death Star in Star Wars on the way to Yavin, and Luke and Han have to get on the lasers with they have Woody Harrelson on it instead. But you were saying like, oh yeah, and like John Boyega will do this later. And,
and he goes, whoa, like he's like, wow, this is old school.
Yeah. You said that was like me whenever Tobias Beckett is like a Galdortian's pelt, or
yeah, Han was like, are they still chasing us? And he's like making all these metaphors and saying yes or no. I was like, damn, that's relatable. But I just say yes or no.
When they pull off the Kessel Run and they make it past the TIE fighters and the droid has died and been reborn and become the navigational computer of the fastest ship in Star Wars, and it's just like this big epic thing has happened, and like they finally make it to the hyperfuel refinery. It's like that's kind of like the climax of the movie. Like not to be gross, but I feel like okay, like we blew our load there, and then it's just like, and then like the next of the movie, it never like builds up to anything that big again. You know, it's just it's the awkward pacing.
I like whenever they're flying in, and he's like, "We have coaxium that needs to be immediately." Like he's like screaming into the thing. He's like, "Immediately!" Like,
I think he says like, "I can see you." It's like the ship, right before like the ship like flies overhead.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much the way that's edited. There's so much like energy and action and excitement there, and then the movie just kind of drags on for 45 more minutes.
Okay, I think the Infus Nest Up was boring, and I think it wasn't well explained. Like it should have been more interesting and more understanding that they were like syndicate rebels sooner than it was revealed later, and like. I don't know, the like sob story about it and stuff. I'm like, man, like it would have been more interesting to show it instead of to tell it.
Yeah, it was anticlimactic. They should have had those people play a bigger role in defeating have like a big boss battle against Drayden.
Right, and be more involved.
And then you still have like Tobias betray Han, and then Han shoots Tobias first. And he's like, that was the last lesson, kid. You finally learned.
Because I think it would have been better for them to get even more out of this disaster than just some coaxium. Mm-hmm. Like, they should have honestly gotten Dryden's ship or something, you know, or like taken back over the people that were working for him.
I guess the story that they chose to tell, you know, in like comics and books and things after this is that after the death of Drayden, Kira becomes like Maul's right-hand woman running the Crimson Sun.
More efficient.
Yeah, it makes me want to read some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen like some of the comic book art of like when Boba Fett had Han Solo and Carbonite and was transporting them to Jabba. Like for some reason, like he must have like stopped at like one of Kira's planets or something. But I've seen like the comic book art of like Kira with the frozen Han.
Oh, the Carbonite.
And, like, or like she like tries to, or maybe like she steals him from Vader or something, like on the way to Jabba or something. But it's like there's these interesting crime stories they tell with her that take place during the time of the original trilogy. Okay. Like my bread and butter of Star Wars, my favorite era.
Yeah.
So I would like to venture into some of that territory and read some of those stories, I guess.
I also liked the Sabacc games with Han and Lando. And
so the rules are a little different here than the rules in one of the video games, Star Wars Outlaws. I haven't played the game, but I understand you play Sabacc there. But like the rules are different than how they work in the movie. Okay. That makes it more confusing.
Sure.
But Star Wars can't do anything the easy way.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's fun that Han technically won the Millennium Falcon twice.
That was the thing you hear in the Empire. Well, he doesn't win it the first time.
But that's because Lando cheats. So
that
in my opinion, Han did win it.
How do you know Han didn't cheat the second time, though?
He did, though. He removed
cheating. Lando's cheating.
Yeah. But he had the card, so he did cheat.
Yeah, but you also use dice in that game, and because he has, like, the dice that he hangs up on the Millennium Falcon. Or, like, his lucky dice he has all through the movie.
Yeah.
But only the rules that you use the dice is like the Corellian version that he plays, which I feel like that was a retcon in some reference book just to make the dice thing make sense with the card game. Okay. Like Ron Howard was probably like, I want to treat it as a card game, and they're like, well, we have like these dice from like the other movie that he's supposed to have always had that he used to win the Falcon.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I don't think I have anything else on Solo.
No, I guess cool to see Chewbacca. Cool to see. I guess I don't know. Was it cool to see Darth Maul?
I did. I thought it was cool. I mean,
even though he looked weird.
I'm glad that Sam Witwer did his voice.
Yeah. Cool to see Emilia Clarke. Cool to see Lando.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see. I don't know. I'd like to see. You know what? I think they could do something cool with the Cloud Rider gang.
Yeah.
Maybe they. What if they went up against Maul?
That would be cool.
That would be like those are perfect enemies. Those would be like ideal people for him to fight. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, maybe we'll see that at some point. Okay, now I think this is probably gonna be like the most popular thing that we talk about, even though you and I think it's kind of mid.
Wait, the most popular out of everything we talk about, or just today?
Just today.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think a lot of people like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just judging because Sohel fucking loved it. But the TV show or the TV miniseries. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, with episode titles like Part 1,
Yeah.
Part 2, Part 3.
What? Yeah, that's odd.
Well, they did it to match the movies, but there's more than 6 movies now, so that doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, no, that's kind of goofy. I didn't realize that's what they were trying to do.
You could say that the events of the episodes might mirror the movies, because like episode 1 is like the Phantom Menace, and it's like you have this Sith Lord doing things in secret in the shadows, and maybe like, okay, we have like this Inquisitor who's trying to like track down Obi-Wan because she really wants to get to Vader, but that's not revealed till later. It's like, oh, that's kind of like the Phantom Menace, I guess. And then
Okay.
I don't know, maybe like there is a clone that shows up in episode 2, right? So that's like the Attack of the Clones. It's like there's a drunk clone
reaching.
passed out in the street.
That's reaching. Anyways, let's talk about the overall arc of
Part
Obi-Wan.
3, you see a Jedi set on fire.
It's time to stop.
That happened in Revenge of the Sith, though.
Okay. These are micro comparisons, in my opinion. But, like, they could very much be coincidences. Can you tell me the overall arc? Like, just, we're going to not talk about it episodically, we're just going to talk about it as a show, right?
Yeah, I mean, we basically watched it as, like, one
Giant movie.
long-ass movie last night. Like, it's one, like, 4.5-hour long movie. But the story of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi is 10 years after Order 66 and the rise of the Empire and the fall of the Jedi Order. Obi-Wan is working at the factory cutting up a animal carcass on Tatooine.
Yep.
Living kind of a shitty life under Imperial rule. There's Inquisitors in the streets cutting off people's hands, looking for Jedi. There's Jedi refugees asking him, like, oh, General Kenobi, can you help me? And he's just got to be like, oh, man, like, stay the hell away from me. And he's keeping an eye on young Luke, but Uncle Owen's like, stay away from this boy. I don't want you to go train him like you trained your father. You're gonna get this kid killed too.
Valid.
Because Obi-Wan is still under the impression that Anakin Skywalker, when evil, became Darth Vader, helped the Emperor hunt down, kill the Jedi, and create the Empire. But at least Obi-Wan left him dead on the side of a volcano.
Unconfirmed.
But Obi-Wan has to leave Tatooine because Leia gets kidnapped, little kid Leia, kidnapped from Bell Organa by a Red Hot Chili Peppers band member, Flea, the drummer, right? And anyways, Obi-Wan is forced by Bell Organa to get back into action, even though he feels like a total fuck-up who can't do anything right. But at least the one thing he did right was kill his best friend.
Ooh.
But then he finds out that, like, oh, I guess Anakin has been alive all along, and he's actually this miserable asshole who has to live in a Bacta tank and then has to walk around with, like, robot legs and a robot arm and breathe with this, like, painful iron lung breathing machine. And he's just, like, this mad asshole who just goes around committing war crimes for Palpatine's fascist government. And it's all Obi-Wan's fault.
Yep. But there's an Inquisitor who had hired the bounty hunters to kidnap Leia because she is specifically looking for Obi-Wan because she wants to be on Darth Vader's
She read the
side.
spoiler. She's like the only one who knows all of the prequel trilogy reveals. She's like, whoa, Vader's Anakin Skywalker. There's some connection to Bell Organa's adoptive daughter, and that might like draw out Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So she knows all the spoilers, keeping them to herself. Oh, they go to the Inquisitorius. The Fortress Inquisitorius, where the Inquisitors hang out. We saw that before in Tales of the Empire. I know it from the video game Jedi Fallen Order. Really cool to see it on screen. Obi-Wan actually has to go there to rescue Leia. And we see the dead Cenube in the amber. A lot of other dead Jedi. Ice Cube's son is a rebel pilot who shows up in a lot of like 90s music reference. But anyways... Ice Cube Jr. and Susie from Torchwood and some other early rebels team up to help Obi-Wan and Leia flee the Inquisitors, but they're chased by Darth Vader to a planet where Obi-Wan has to duel Vader, and he cuts off half of Vader's helmet and exposes his face, and when you see the face of Anakin Skywalker in there, he says, "Oh, I am actually Vader. I killed Anakin." And Obi-Wan doesn't finish him off, which I understand a little bit more now. He goes back to Leia, gets her home, and then goes back to Tatooine and gives Luke a toy and says hello there. And then Liam Neeson shows up finally.
Oh, yeah.
After he's been trying to get him on like he's been like with the Ouija board trying to talk to him. Like, please, Master Qui-Gon, I could really use some help. And then he doesn't show up till like the very, 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 very absolutely last scene for like 3 seconds.
When you summarize it, there's not much I like about Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Well, I skipped all the parts that you like.
Oh, like, I'm trying to think now. I love little baby Leia and Luke. That is adorable. I think it's a little sexist here that Luke is just willy-nilly playing around. Obi-Wan wants to keep an eye on Luke. And then, like, Organa's like, but the sister... Don't you want to also kind of keep an eye on the sister? And he's like, no, I'm busy with the kid.
Well, she has, like, a trust fund and, like, royal guards and, like, she's literally a princess. Like,
okay, fair. And there is an Inquisitor that has recently cut someone's hand. Okay, never mind. I'll take it back a little bit.
Like,
but he's a little bit...
Obi-Wan just saw an Inquisitor walk up to Owen and be like, you, Owen Lars,
your family.
Any Jedi on your farm?
Yes. Well... I think it's interesting that I think there's a little bit of a sexism here that Obi-Wan thinks Luke will be Force sensitive, but he doesn't seem to think the same of Leia.
I don't agree with that either. I don't, because I think he kind of he kind of is worried about her getting too Force powerful. He kind of I feel like he's kind of trying to like steer her away from it. He doesn't want to expose her
when he meets her. But I'm saying, like, he's, like, watching Luke, thinking, like, I'm watching for...
He doesn't have a plan for training Leia
right,
initially,
but he does have a plan to try to... And that's why Owen is protecting him.
So was Obi-Wan and Yoda's plan originally be like, we're going to train this boy Luke. We're going to train him up his whole life. And when we think he's ready, we're going to send him on a mission to kill his dad.
Yes.
And if he fails to do that, then we'll start training the other one.
Yeah, and
that was their
like
plan.
A massive not head start. What's the opposite of a head start?
No wonder Palpatine brought down y'all's whole order.
Because they're stupid. I'm telling you, and because they're sexist. They're like, we're gonna pick the boy first. We'll kill him first. No big deal. Do you know? Okay, the other thing that really bothers me in the show, because honestly, well, wait. I was gonna say maybe nothing does bother me that much, but no. Okay, the Qui-Gon Jinn cameo pisses me off, and. One, it's because he is Liam Neeson and not Force dots floating around. Because in the Dagobah, like, episodes in the Clone Wars, Qui-Gon Jinn literally tells Yoda, like, I didn't finish my training and that's why I can't manifest as Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, I'm just these little Force dots floating around and making you crazy. And he's like, and you have to finish all this training so that you can become a Force ghost when you die. But then, at the end of Obi-Wan here, it's like, oh, I guess somehow Qui-Gon Jinn completed his Force Ghost training as a Force dot cluster. Like, I don't understand how that worked.
Or just Obi-Wan just got to a point where he could see him. Like...
I don't think so, though, because Yoda couldn't see Qui-Gon Jinn at all. And that was...
I know, but, like, Yoda had now, like, learned training... from Qui-Gon that he could give to Obi-Wan.
Or is it because Obi-Wan had seen Force Ghost Qui-Gon during the
Mortis stuff?
Mortis arc. Yeah. I was going to say the Holy Trinity, but I was like, I can't say that because that's not right.
It's the Holy Trinity of Star Wars.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Mortis stuff. So maybe it's that?
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like I could talk myself into anything to make it make sense.
I know we have some more Mortis imagery coming up in Rebels, but
and
they have and Ahsoka. But yeah, beyond Ahsoka, none of the live action stuff is really. That's more like Filoni's thing, though. That's something like Filoni and Lucas built together in Clone Wars, and I feel like only like a really Filoni I bet like Mandalorian never dabbles with the Mortis stuff because that's like Filoni and Favreau together,
right?
Yeah, like.
But that's like not. But it's like a different part of Star Wars.
It is.
Like we talk about, like there's the woo woo stuff and then the less woo. Like Andor, very raw and gritty person show, and then on the other hand you have Ahsoka. Woo-woo, crazy, Space Force stuff.
And Obi-Wan is kind of in the middle. It's kind of like, we're going to do a Jedi story for the normies who have only seen the movies.
Yeah.
Because, like, in all the flashback stuff here, it kind of bothers me. I kind of get it, but it still kind of bothers me. But, like, they don't mention much from any of the animated stuff. Like, they only mention things from, like, the 3 prequel movies.
I was actually mad about that when it did, like, the
The previously on?
The previous... No, like, well, kind of. Like, before episode 1 even started, it, like, recapped the prequels.
Right.
But it left out all of the
but it would have
been so long.
Especially, like, if you have, like, that early, like, season 1 animation, which doesn't bother me. It wouldn't have bothered me, but, like, a lot of people out there would be like, why is it kind of cartoony? And now it's back to live action, and now it's back to cartoon.
Yeah.
It just would have been too weird for them.
I guess that's fair. But even if it was just, like, voiced over, instead of it being their voices, it'd be like, and then Ahsoka got kicked out of the order.
You know how...
like, they could have done it without the images.
I would have done a recap that was entirely animated.
Or...
I would have done it with, like the sand and the desert. Like, you could just, like, blow around different, like, little pictographs and...
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know when they tell the story of, like, the original Vizsla Mandalorian who made the Darksaber in Rebels, and it's, like, cave drawing animation?
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I would have done, like, something like that, like, out in the desert, and just...
Another thing that would have worked is just a text entry, like they do on the movies.
I don't know. Would the Star Wars franchise do good if it had, like, some explanatory text at the opening?
Like...
I mean, Solo did that.
I think it would... Oh, yeah, it did. I think it would have worked... if they'd been like, basically go watch the prequels. And then also all this other stuff happened. And here we are now. It's been 10 years or something. I don't know. I have some complaints about that, but I don't have it fully fleshed out. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just pulling up my notes on the show, but
Okay.
I'll wait till you're done with your current thought.
Well, I was actually about to tangent. I wanted to talk about, I believe, third sister Reva. We should talk about
let's talk
her.
about the Inquisitors in general.
Okay.
Because we get the Grand Inquisitor in the first episode, and I would have been so excited for live-action Grand Inquisitor had it been the actor who it really should have been.
Yeah. Jason Isaacs.
Who voices him in Rebel. He's come back since Obi-Wan and done, like, Tales of the Empire.
So we don't know if it's because they can't afford him or
scheduling
or does he not do prosthetics?
Yeah, does he just like, you're not going to glue shit on my head?
He's like, I did Star Trek. I saw what Doug Jones went through.
I'm
not fucking doing that. But I agree. No hate on the actor for Grand Inquisitor. I think he did his best, but I think the makeup it didn't sell it. I don't think he was vicious or menacing enough. I don't think his voice
I don't want to say, like, he sucks, but just, like...
I agree. I don't think he sucks.
It wouldn't bother me had I not just the entire time been thinking Jason Isaacs would do it better.
Oh, 100%. And, like, he was definitely trying to do, like, a Jason Isaacs voice. And sometimes he would get it, and sometimes he wouldn't.
Just hire a stuntman...
And then voice over Jason Isaacs.
Dub Jason Isaacs over him, yeah.
We've seen that before in Star Wars.
Yeah,
Jesus.
just
Like,
give him the Ray Park treatment.
God. Maybe they learned from Ray Park. They're like, we'll never do that again because we fucked up his life.
I don't think that's the reason why he went insane and posted weird stuff on Instagram, but...
Well, maybe. We won't know for sure. Only it's between him and his therapist.
But then the other Inquisitors, you wanted to talk about...
Reva.
Reva, the third, whatever
I think
sister.
she's the third sister.
We have Len, Barris's friend, who we'll talk more about in a moment, but from Tales of the Empire.
And then the Dome Head.
Fifth brother.
Yeah. Dome Head. I don't know. He's wearing a hat.
He'll show up in Rebels Season 2. We'll see him again.
Yeah.
In like 2 weeks.
I personally really like Reva. I think she's scary as shit.
Yeah.
She's awful. Like, terrible person. She's so angry.
She's so mean.
And bitchy, asshole. Like, she's like, I'm cut off hands. Like, she's like, I was wronged once, and now I'm going to wrong the whole world. You know? And, like, I get it.
And she was like, they did like
scary.
The school shooter victimhood thing with her, where she's basically like, she's like the survivor. She was like a little kid who was at school one day and all her classmates were killed in front of her.
Yeah. I did like that reveal. The first time I watched Kenobi, I didn't assume that that's what she was gonna, like, I didn't assume that was gonna be her story.
Really?
No.
Because I thought it was like really obvious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm usually
But we were watching Maul, and like the first episode of Maul, Taylor was like, I bet blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And then like all the things she just said happened.
I was like, anyways, I've just told you the whole next 4 episodes.
Yeah,
I was right about, like,
we don't have to go into it here. For
Sorry, I got excited.
The people who haven't seen it.
But I really liked the reveal of that, and but yeah, I thought it was interesting to see it be revealed that she's actually doing all this bullshit just to kill Anakin because she's fucking mad at him because she killed all of her friends and all the Jedi. And, like, it's so close to being, like, Jedi spy, Quinlan Voss, go to the dark side kind of vibe, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just interesting. I think it's cool. But she is such a fucking awesome actress, or actor. Like, I, like, was genuinely scared of her multiple times. Like, she has great facial expression, and she's a really physical actress, and, like, she, like, really just feels like she's gonna kick the shit out of you.
You said you didn't see this when it happened, because I brought it up last night when we were watching the show.
Well, I did watch this one as it was coming out, but I still don't follow any Star Wars fandom stuff because I struggle.
But yeah, a lot of people, like, were complaining about her character, and it sounded like for very racist reasons. Like,
that's not surprising at all.
Ewan McGregor made a video on social media, like, hey, this is a message from Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you're racist, you're not a real Star Wars fan.
Wow.
And it's just kind of, like, embarrassing, like, shit comes down to that.
Yeah. But. Wow, I didn't know that was that severe. I mean, I would assume that would happen because it even happened on the Acolyte recently, so. They didn't have other complaints? Or was that just the main complaint?
I mean, I saw, like, some other complaints, like, the show felt, like, too small budget.
Oh.
Like.
I think it was pretty visually stunning. I think it did a pretty good job with, like, I don't know, the different locations.
It didn't feel like Star Wars on a smaller TV budget to you. It was kind of funny. We were talking about, like, oh, man, like, they're spending a lot of time in what looks like California. It's kind of weird for Star Wars to look like Berman-era Star Trek.
In the second episode, they're on, like, a neon planet, which is really cool looking.
Yeah. Then we were wondering, like, is this the planet from the new Maul show? But, like, no, they're different planets.
Yeah, they are different. But, there was something else I wanted to bring. Oh, I want to talk more about little kid Leia. Adorable.
That introduction scene with her cousin, and that's it shows her using force-sensitive abilities there.
Yeah.
When she's like, she can see into her cousin. Yeah. And she's like, you don't know anything. You just wait and see what your dad says and then copy it, even if you don't understand it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, apologize to your cousin. It's like, yeah, he's the guy who told her, like, you're not even a real Organa.
I know. I was like, that kid needs a beating. What are you talking about? That kid's the one that needs to apologize. But I think the force sensitivity stuff is done just enough because it's still not, like, she, I guess, doesn't really know until she's, like, a full-ass adult. So, I mean, it's safe to assume she kind of gets it, but I don't think she ever, like, pushes it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I like a lot of the interactions between her and Obi-Wan, where he's like, you remind me so much of this person who is, and he doesn't say this to her, but, like, her mom or her dad.
Oh, see, that was, like, such a great moment. Like, the show had, so, all the Star Wars we're talking about tonight, my favoritist stuff was in Obi-Wan Kenobi. But also, like, my least favoritist stuff was in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, but I love so much, too, that these characters, like Organa and Obi-Wan, like, literally kneel down to little kid Leia to talk at her level and comfort her or give her information. Like, I love whenever Leia's like, well, I'm not even a real Organa. And he bends down and is like, you are my child. Like, I love that, like, reassurance that she gets, that affirmation from her dad, you know? And we see that replicated with Luke when Owen is like, that is my son. Like, that is my kid. I love that these adults, even though, like, these children are forced upon them in some ways by Yoda and Obi-Wan, they fully accept this role and cherish and love this child with all of their heart, you know? Like, it's like, I'm glad that they both had loving homes. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, that was something they make very clear in this show, that they were both well protected and loved.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan, I guess, gets a lot of solace out of that. Because he's the guy, out of all the people in the show, I mean, I guess, like, Bail Organa worked with Padme in the Senate, but he's, like, the one who, like, really knew them.
Right.
And, he's the closest to the parents of these kids, but he's the most distant from the kids themselves, so, we kind of, like, see it from his point of view as he sees, like, oh, yeah, they actually are, being well loved and protected.
Yeah.
Little kid Luke got so little to do in this show. I loved it being more Leia-focused.
Yeah, there's so much Luke.
Yeah.
We don't need more of that. Like, he gets the whole trilogy, basically. The original trilogy, like, to be pretty badass. Like, Leia gets stuff to do.
I thought it was weird, though, when they have, like, Luke running from an Inquisitor. And, like, he, like, almost sees a lightsaber. Like, I don't want him to see a lightsaber until, like, he lights one up when Obi-Wan gives it to him. Yeah. And he sparks it up for the first time, and it's, like, the coolest thing he's ever seen.
Yeah. But I don't think he sees it.
I know he doesn't, but it's still, like, it's just weird to me. And I mean, like, he was, like, he was in an adventure where people were, like, chasing him with lightsabers when he was 10.
Yeah.
Just, like, when you watch Star Wars, you watch it thinking, like, man, like, this kid has, like, never left his hometown. Like, you know, nothing exciting has ever happened to him.
He hits his head pretty hard.
Yeah, I get that it works. It's just, I'm just saying, like, thematically, it bothers me.
Sure. It doesn't bother me. I don't really care.
You're not as protective of the original trilogy.
I know. I'm realizing that. The more we're watching this, the more I'm like, oh, yeah.
But I love Owen and Beru in this show. I love the Owen Obi-Wan conversation. There's one part of it that does kind of bother me a little bit. When it's just like, I just realized while watching this, like, Obi-Wan and Owen both think that Anakin is dead. And I really want, like, there's a line in Star Wars when Luke gets mad. He's being a whiny teenager and he runs out from the dinner table. And Beru says, he's just not a farmer, Owen. He's got too much of his father in him. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts back to Owen. He says, that's what I'm afraid of. And I really want that to be like, Owen knows that Anakin is Vader. Oh. But I guess he just thinks Anakin dies. He's just like, yeah, I don't want to be like his dad and die.
He met Anakin. Yeah. He was an asshole when he met him. So I think, like, that's enough to be like, well, I hope not. That guy literally just slaughtered a whole town.
When I was a little kid watching the original trilogy, that was just kind of my headcanon, was that Owen knew.
Okay, and it got... Okay, see, I didn't have that headcanon. In my brain, it was like, oh, he just didn't like Anakin. Like, because that's who he met when he came in the prequel time, you know? Because you gotta remember, like, I was watching the original trilogy around the same time the prequels had just come out.
Right.
Like, by the time I fully...
Yeah, I was a teenager. My
brain was still, like, learning to remember memories at the time prequels were coming out.
I grew up with the original trilogy, and then I didn't see the prequels until I was a teenager when they came out. So, yeah.
That's interesting.
But, you know, it's the same way when I talk about Star Trek with Dave, and, like, you know, he just got into the original series because that's all there was until he was a teenager and TNG came out.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's similar to that.
What were your least favorite parts of Obi-Wan? You told me your most favorite part.
Episode 6. So I really wish that the show ended. I would have loved the show if it ended at episode 5. Because I think it really gets going. I remember, like, they released the first 2 episodes together. And I saw those and I was like, man, like, I really like this little kid Leia.
Yeah.
And so they got me hooked. And then I love episodes 3 through 5. I know, like, you want me to talk about, like, what I don't like. But just real quick, episode 3, they had, like, that scene in the back of the truck with the Imperial bootlicker.
Dude. That's so funny that you mentioned that because I forgot how shitty that character was. Like, I was like, oh, I remember, like, Leia being in the truck and liking that episode. And you were quiet, and I was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that episode. And we watch it now, and I'm like, shit! Oh, it's so much worse now.
It's like how I feel all the time. I was like, man, like, I've gotten in the Uber car with, like, this guy as the driver.
Right? And you're, like, trapped, and you're also trying to be quiet and, like, not you're like, I just need to get to my location safely.
And also episode 3, it had, like, it showed Vader in the back to tank, like, his, like, gear up scene was, like, so cool, and he's pretty scary when he comes after Obi-Wan the first time, and you know, he's too short to be Darth Vader, but they do a good enough job shooting him to look tall. But, like, Hayden Christensen, it's cool, like, he got to come back, and I'm happy for him. Yeah. Even though, like, I kind of wish they would, like, just dub his voice with Matt
Lanter?
Lanter from the Clone Wars. Because to me, like, that's what Anakin should sound like.
I know. These voice actors they hired for the Clone Wars are just fucking awesome.
But, you know, episode 4, I love Obi-Wan going into the Fortress Inquisitorius. I love him. Like, that's the first time he actually, like, pops his lightsaber. Like, he's been, like, using a blaster, which is, you know, kind of messed up. But, like, how he shot Grievous is, like, so uncivilized. Like he's, like, anti-blaster, you know?
Yeah.
And so, episode 4, like, he finally uses his lightsaber, kills a couple of stormtroopers to rescue the kid. Like, that was pretty cool. And then episode 5, episode 5 of the show, they cut back and forth between, like, those flashbacks of Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor have it. That's, like, right before Attack of the Clones. They're, like, still, like, master and apprentice.
Right.
And it cuts back and forth to that, and then like you have like angry Vader. And I think it actually does like a good job. Like you feel like that Anakin Skywalker character is the guy inside of the Vader suit, because they often feel like two unconnected characters.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like episode 5 of the show is like does a really great job of making it feel like, yeah, that is the guy. That is like Obi-Wan's apprentice, who like Darth Vader is always supposed to be. He was the student of Obi-Wan Kenobi who turned evil. We've known that since 1977, and here he is like coming to get revenge. And then Obi-Wan having to outsmart him, and just like that whole line and like the flashback of like Anakin, you try too hard to prove yourself, and until you learn to overcome that weakness, you will always be an apprentice. And then I love how like he tricks the aggressive Anakin. He comes in all hot. You have like that whole like siege sequence, like the stormtroopers and the Inquisitor trying to get in, and then what's her name, Susie from Torchwood, sacrifices herself, like the droid who can't speak, but his actions speak louder than words, and he like self-sacrifices to protect her self-sacrifice to protect everyone else. And then Obi-Wan tricks Vader when he comes through, and Vader just grabs the first thing in front of him. He rips the ship that's trying to take off down from the sky, slams it into the ground, rips it apart, and then he's surprised to find the ship empty. And while he's messing with that, everyone else escapes on the other ship.
Yeah, very good.
And if you just ended the show there, it's like, oh yeah, that's why when they meet on the Death Star, Vader tells Obi-Wan, when we last met, I was but the learner, now I am the master. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know, that would have made more sense. But instead, that ship, the hyperdrive, is busted, so they chase them to another planet where Obi-Wan and Anakin have a lightsaber fight that I think it looks really cool at first, and like the lightsabers look so good in the show. How they have like the sabers like lighting their faces, and Vader's armor looks so good with like the red glow. And you can make the argument for continuity that like lightsabers never had that effect on Vader's armor before, but I think it looks really good here.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It looks good.
But then, okay, so then the fight starts to bug me when it goes on for too long, and they get way too cute with like CGI force rocks getting thrown around. And it is kind of interesting when they have like Vader have like half of his helmet cut off. And remind me, which half? Is it the left side or the right side?
I think it's his left.
I think you're right. And then we'll pay more attention to it when we see it in Rebels. But I think in Rebels,
is it the right?
You see Ahsoka fight Vader and cut off the right side. So that is interesting to me that, both cut off half of it, but only Luke actually removes the helmet off of Anakin in Return of the Jedi. But it's so stupid that Obi-Wan, like, your big failure was not finishing him off on Mustafar, and now you're just going to, like, leave him.
He doesn't learn from his mistake.
I was so mad after watching this, I never watched this again, even though I like a lot of the stuff in the first 5 episodes until this frustrating 6th episode. Mm-hmm. But I guess, okay, here's how I can kind of explain it to myself. Now, like, I answered your question, what was the thing I didn't like in the show?
Yeah.
But what I will tell myself now to make it easier to sleep tonight is that Vader wasn't, like, all that defeated. Like, his, like, respiratory system might be, like, a little, his Vader equipment might be like a little damaged or something. His helmet's messed up, but like he's still like probably capable of like killing Obi-Wan if Obi-Wan got close to him again. And Obi-Wan, I feel like maybe Obi-Wan was just like, I'm not in a position to finish him off now. I'm gonna have to flee because those people need me, and that little girl Leia needs me to get her home, and then I really need to get back and check on that boy Luke. Because it sounds like this crazy...
Inquisitor.
But doesn't he think that she's been dealt with?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that doesn't make sense. But
Well...
But yeah, I guess like he still felt like he needed to get... He couldn't risk dying. He needed to get back to protecting them.
I think it's also confusing why Reva goes back to Tatooine to hunt Luke down. I think that all is not
it's
very...
like,
that's
she's
not very smart.
Yeah, that part is so dumb. It's dumb. Is it Vader who stabs her or the Grand Inquisitor?
I believe Vader stabs her in the stomach.
But it's not like... Because she had stabbed the Grand Inquisitor earlier.
Right.
And if you had seen Rebels, he doesn't die. But then, like, he shows up back here, and they're just like, oh, we knew that you were stupid all along.
Yeah.
But
she gets, like, that little message from Organa and hears him talk about Luke on Tatooine and hears the name Owen, which she knows about Owen because of the first episode, where she meets him in the square. Which
was, looking back, that was her trying to track down Obi-Wan.
Right. But if her goal was to fuck up Vader, and he just sliced her in the stomach, why would she go after Obi-Wan again by going after Luke. Because the whole thing with, like Bail mentioning Tatooine and Luke...
Because does she know that Luke is Anakin's kid? Because that doesn't make sense.
Because no one knows.
Yeah,
except for Obi-Wan, and unless she had, like, some kind of crazy Force touch sense, and she was like, oh, shit. Like, she touched Obi-Wan or something. Because we do see she had some kind of touch at one point.
Yeah, her motivations always made no sense to me either.
That's the one that doesn't make sense to me. I can understand her tracking down Obi-Wan to get to Vader's good side, and then... Because she kind of probably is also fucking mad at Obi-Wan, because, like, where the hell was he whenever everyone was getting slaughtered at the Jedi Temple? You know, like, in some ways, I think that's just misplacing blame, which I think is very easy to do as a child.
Hey, I got it, though, by the way.
Oh.
In Part 4, when he has to infiltrate the fortress... That's Obi-Wan sneaking around on the Death Star in Star Wars.
Oh.
And then in Part 5, when they trick Vader and escape on the other ship, that's like the end of The Empire Strikes Back when the Millennium Falcon goes to hyperspace and escapes Vader's clutches. That's the end of Empire Strikes Back. And then in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, you have a big fight with Vader at the end, and he's partially unmasked.
Okay.
Yeah, you see him with part of his helmet off. So yeah, there's enough there that was a thing. They were doing that on purpose.
Something else I thought would have been better is when the ship is brought back down by Vader. I think there should have been a pilot in that ship that, like, sacrificed or whatever.
Or a droid.
But I thought it would actually be cool if it was Obi-Wan being reluctant flight pilot.
Yeah, and then they could have a fight there.
And then, like, give up on this refugee ship, like, clunking through space. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to see the refugee ship being shot at by, like, a starfighter.
That's the opening of Star Wars. That's how it very begins after the first text crawl goes away. It's a rebel ship being pursued by the Empire, getting shot at.
Okay, I understand. But in this story... I think it would have made sense to be like, okay, and now all of them are safe, and now Obi-Wan is here to just fight Darth Vader. And then do whatever, and then he escapes on a different ship.
Yeah, and have them, like, get separated. Like, they're fighting on a bridge. This is my problem with Revenge of the fucking Sith. Like, they fight on a bridge or something, and the bridge splits, and they can't get to each other. And they're forced to part ways.
And they can't finish the fight. Like, this is what is really fucking stupid about Obi-Wan. Like... Why would you not mercy kill your fucking friend who is burning alive without most of his limbs and is in the most pain?
Well, I guess he just thought that he was already, like, imminently going to die and he didn't need to.
Like, when you see, like, an animal get hit by a car or something and they're, like, obviously gonna die and it takes too long.
Yeah, he should have done better. Like,
the fuck?
This guy who was a general in a war who, like, he's seen, like, his friends be mortally wounded before. Like, he's had to say goodbye to fellow Jedi. He's had to say goodbye to clones. Like, yeah, like, he should have been capable of handling that better.
And, like, Obi-Wan... His whole thing is, like, anti-attachment. The whole Jedi Order thing. Don't have attachment. Don't have attachment. And that's what he fails to finish the job with Anakin because of his attachment. Like, he walks away because he's like, well, you are my brother. I can't kill you, basically. Yeah. Fucking dumb. Anyways,
that's interesting.
But I think, like, in this, too, like, he doesn't learn that lesson, like we just talked about. Like, he leaves him here alive.
That was my big complaint with the show. I mean, like,
he has... Obviously, we know that he has to leave. Like, he has to survive. We know that. But it doesn't have to be a choice that Obi-Wan makes again.
Like, I thought it was dumb to make a show where Vader and Obi-Wan fight. Like, when Kathleen Kennedy started promoting... And I'm not trying to, like, beat up on her. I know I was giving her shit earlier. Like, I think most of the people complaining about Kathleen Kennedy on the internet are morons. But I also think fuck all CEOs, so at the same time, like, fuck the girl bosses too. But at the same time, she was saying that, like, this is going to be the rematch of the century or something. I'm like, like, why? Like, their rematch is on the fucking Death Star.
Yeah.
Like, just
that should have been excluded.
Like, just have Vader go do other things.
It would have
and
actually
Obi-Wan
been
do
more
other things.
interesting for them to constantly be just out of each
Oh,
other.
yeah, like if Vader keeps near missing
he's like,
him, yeah.
fuck! Like,
Yeah.
I just, like, and or if they, like, might, like, you know, like, when Anakin's, like, on one of the starfighters or something over Coruscant and Ahsoka flies by and he feels her in the Force.
Yeah.
Like, if that had happened, like, on the refugee ship, and the refugee ship went, like, hyperdrive, and as it was, like, fleeing away from the starfighter, he just felt Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and there's, like the Death Star example of that, when he tells Tarkin, like, I sensed something.
Sorry, I'm all worked up now. We should have wrote the Obi-Wan show. I'm just kidding.
We can write our alternative.
We always have fan fiction.
That'll be the Other Star franchise season 2, is we'll rewrite these things. Yeah, that might be fun. I've always wanted to rewrite the entire prequels.
Joel, let us know what character you want to be. We'll write the script for you.
I was going to point out, Joel also in the comments corrects me that Flea is the bassist for Red Hot Chili Peppers and not the drummer.
Joel would know. Hell yeah.
But any other things on Obi-Wan Kenobi? We have a little bit of Tales of the Empire to talk about.
Let's wrap it up with Tales of the Empire. These are two decent ones. I think we're going to end on a kind of boring one. Or, I don't know, it's not very boring, but it's short. The first one is Tales of the Empire, Season 1, Episode 6, The Way Out. And I'm going to tell you all about it in just a second when I can find the synopsis.
I have a cat chewing on my foot at the moment.
Oh, the Empire. So. Yeah, he's got his claws in you. It's not his... Okay, The Way Out.
Beauties of doing things live. Let's go.
Years after leaving the Inquisitors... Is that the right one? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Barriss is a healer and teacher. She is visited by a family who are trying to protect their Force-sensitive child from the fourth sister who follows them. Barriss traps the fourth sister in a maze as the family escapes and attempts to convince her to turn to the light side of the Force. When she accidentally stabs Barriss with the lightsaber, the fourth sister feels regret and chooses to carry Barriss to safety. I accidentally kept saying Force sister instead of fourth sister, so sorry if that was confusing.
Okay, fourth sister, yeah.
But Lynn.
Lynn.
Yeah.
Who was in Obi-Wan Kenobi. She was one of the Inquisitors.
Yeah.
We previously talked about her in Tales of the Empire episode 3? Or no, 4. Oh, yeah. The Barriss ones are 4, 5, and 6. And this is... Oh, yeah. So this is the final Barriss story so far. We don't know what happens to this girl. We also don't know when this takes place. We just know it's after 9 BBY because homegirl Lynn is... She leaves the Inquisitor Order, it seems, at the end of this.
Yeah.
So it had to be after Obi-Wan.
For sure.
But we don't, like, this could be before, during, or after Andor or Rebels or... When's the last Inquisitor? Like, I think they're all gone by the time Rogue One happens. Yeah. There's no more Inquisitors. So it's before... It's between 19 BBY and 0, which is what I copied and pasted on the spreadsheet from from Wikipedia. I almost called it Memory Alpha. But yeah, not much to see here. Just Barriss survives her brief time as an Inquisitor and has gone back to the light side. And we have cats opening and shutting doors in the house, which is also scary. It's like the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park.
Well, it's actually a Texan lady having a mini fight.
That happens.
That's okay.
So
they're siblings.
If you're watching the video format of the podcast, there's some more entertainment. Now, someone is like listening to it on Spotify, and they're like, "I got to see the video of this," and they clicked on the video. Anywho, but yeah, there's not like a ton that happens here other than Barriss and Lynn.
I feel like it's really just like
it's set up for another story with them.
It's kind of interesting because it does kind of continue like that domino effect of like. The redemption arc of Barriss is like, oh, well, she's redeemed herself. She's a healer. She's trying to help people. Like, she's trying to make up for her wrongdoings. And she also wants to include Lynn on that. She's like, okay, finally I can maybe get to Lynn and get her to turn and have a redemption arc for her. So it's like a domino effect of, like, turning back to the light side.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of interesting.
It's like her good turn had good consequences.
She also I think she survives this, getting stabbed in the stomach. Like the fourth.
It's like deliberately ambiguous, but yeah, I assume that's the story they're telling. Is that she does survive.
Because God, the third sister, Reva, just survived Vader's lightsaber in the gut.
And she stabbed the Grand Inquisitor and he survived. It's like Inquisitors don't die
so
from...
what? They don't have stomachs?
It's like the Grand Inquisitor goes away. Do you remember how he dies in Rebels? It's season 1. I won't say because...
It's been a minute.
Well, I think he falls into like a fight. Like he lets go. He had failed to capture Kanan and Ezra, and rather than like face the wrath of Vader and the Emperor, he just like lets go of what he's holding on, and he just falls into a fire.
Okay.
But it's like maybe like Inquisitors can only be killed by fire. If you just stab them with your lightsaber, they'll just jump back up. It seems.
Interesting. Well, Barriss was not an Inquisitor. She was
an ex-Inquisitor.
So I don't know how that works, but yeah, I think she's fine. She's. Yeah. We'll see more of her.
Yeah, Lynn is going to patch her up, and then it'll be the story of Lynn and Barriss. I think they would be good...
those people into Ahsoka.
Oh, you want Barriss and Lynn in the Ahsoka show?
I want to see Barriss and Ahsoka makeup.
Our cat Tux likes that idea. Yeah, they could do live-action Barriss. She originally was a live-action character as a background character in Attack of the Clones way back in 2002, so...
But I think that's actually... Barriss sends the family to Ahsoka, I think. It's implied. She says, like, get them on the ship, and I'll let her know that
but that's
they're
not a
going
thing
to you.
yet. Oh, you're right.
Because
okay, I get what you're saying.
Because Ahsoka's a rebel cell.
Yeah.
Even if she's not teaching Jedi at this point, she is rescuing
it's possible
people.
It's possible that Barriss is working with...
Like, I want to kind of see their...
and see... Go ahead.
I would like to see them interact as adults.
Okay, here's a complaint I have for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Another one?
Bell Organa, I get like why they didn't, because like it was an Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and Ewan McGregor is going to play Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's kind of like the whole reason it was greenlit. But in universe, Bell Organa should have called Ahsoka. She was already like doing active rebel stuff at this time. Yes,
she didn't know Luke and Leia were there.
I know he should have told her.
He should have told her.
Like, what's the advantage of not telling her?
Because they don't want anyone to know.
That is true. Okay.
Because they're like, fuck that. Like,
because
we're the only ones who witnessed
and,
it.
Like,
and
Maul could pull it out of your mind.
Because if Ahsoka knew, both of them, like all three of them would have taken down, like it would have been so much more successful if Ahsoka knew. And so they can't tell Ahsoka just because of like fucking storyline rules, because if we knew that Ahsoka knew, we would be like, okay, so she would have figured it all the fuck out and got those two kids, like, I don't know, force trained somehow, and all this shit that happens in like the original trilogy wouldn't have probably even taken place because they would have already dealt with all this bullshit, like, and been more proficient. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if Ahsoka knew, like, shit would have been dealt with better, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, so you agree with me, Bell Organa should have roped Ahsoka in. But yeah, I guess that is the reason. He's like, Obi-Wan knows about Leia, and I can't tell Ahsoka about Leia, because I think it says that in the Ahsoka novel, that, you know, we talk about some of the stuff with Tales of the Jedi, but like Ahsoka coming back in to work with the rebellion after her time away, she and Obi-Wan don't know about each other's survival.
Yeah.
And I guess everything is so compartmentalized in the rebellion.
Yeah.
And like we'll see a lot of that with with Saul Guerrera and with the Swedish guy in Andor, Skarsgård. Luthen.
Oh yeah. Dude, I was thinking of his sons. I'm like going through all of his sons. I'm like, where the fuck is the Skarsgård in Andor? But yeah, you're talking about Stellan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Mamma Mia, man.
Yeah, he keeps everything secret, like especially if he's like the main character's secret father. Mm-hmm. That happens in Star Wars and that happens in Mamma Mia.
Something else is Ahsoka could have been on another mission, unavailable.
I like that one the most.
Because she's fucking got her hands full.
Yeah, because it's like his daughter's life is on the line. If there's ever a time to like break protocol, it's like Leia might die if I don't do this right.
Also, low key, like Ahsoka was never a Master Jedi, so like maybe he just feels. I know for a fact Ahsoka could kick Obi-Wan's ass at this point in the series.
Yeah, well, they make a big deal that he's like lost his connection to the Force.
Yeah, like he's self-exiled.
Yeah.
Right? And Yoda is self-exiled. Like,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
like Luke in The Last Jedi, where he's
also,
like choosing not to connect.
Obi-Wan low-key is like less, like he can blend in more than Ahsoka or Yoda. Like, Ahsoka and Yoda are very memorable faces.
Yeah, they would stand out working at the factory.
Obi-Wan just looks like a random dude. Especially now that he's lived on Tatooine for 10 years and he's got lines on his face and long hair.
Them two sons will do murder to your skin.
They're like, just put your
Jar Jar
cloak
Binks
on.
said.
No one will know it's you. Okay,
Well,
those are my headcanons.
We spent more time talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show than Tales of the Empire Episode 6. So that means it's time to move on to Tales of the Empire Episode 2.
The Path of Anger.
We're done with the 3 Barriss episodes. This is the second of the 3 Morgan Elsbeth episodes of Tales of the Empire. Okay. So what's going on here?
So the Path of Anger. During the reign of the Empire, Morgan becomes magistrate of the resource-rich planet Corvus and promises to bring jobs and prosperity for the local population. First of all, big promise. Don't be making those kind of promises. She designs a new TIE Defender fighter, but her proposal to make it for the Empire is rejected by Moff Isdane. Admiral Thrawn takes an interest in the proposal and sends his assassin, Rook, to attack Morgan. After she holds her own, Thrawn accepts her project and offers his assistance. The one thing I really, really like about this is Morgan being like, hey guys, I designed this TIE fighter that has shields so that your sweet little stormtroopers who volunteer their whole life and they just want a better life and they're just here so they have a roof over their head and a meal in their stomach have a better chance of surviving. And they all said, fuck that.
You think these Moffs and Admirals give a shit about their pilots?
Yeah, they don't.
Welcome to the Empire. But yeah, maybe they would have won. Maybe they would have beat the rebellion if they had the TIE Defenders. Yeah. This is set up for stuff we'll talk about in Rebels, but Thrawn and the TIE Defenders are a big thing there. And then Morgan Elsbeth will go on to be one of Thrawn's lieutenants in the Ahsoka show. That's exciting because we've only seen Season 1. When Season 2 comes out, there's going to be more Morgan Elsbeth stuff, I guess.
Yeah, nice.
But as far as this episode goes, it ties into The Mandalorian, too, because we see her planet. So this is after her Night Sister stuff. There's a big gap in her life story, by the way, because the Night Sister stuff was back during the Clone Wars. That was in, like, 19 BBY,
yeah,
I think. Maybe. Yeah, it was after Maul came back. So, like, 19 BBY. And then this story is said to take place between 9 BBY and 2 BBY. Mm-hmm. Which, speaking of the timeline placement, I have beef with this, because I originally wanted to put this Tales of the Empire, I wanted to put this right after the Bad Batch.
Okay.
Because the last scene of the Bad Batch is Tarkin arriving with, there's the 2 Republic-style Star Destroyers and the 1 Imperial one. Mm-hmm. And then this opens the same way.
Okay.
And I felt like that was like a cool little connection.
Okay.
But because if you look at Thrawn's uniform, I think he's at the rank of Vice Admiral, which he didn't actually achieve until 9 BBY. It's either that or he's a Grand Admiral already or something. I don't know. But like his rank.
Okay.
Because like according to like some book somewhere or whatever, I'm like, I guess it goes at like between 9 and 2 BBY. But we know it's before 2 BBY because it's before... I guess that's like when he first appears in Rebels, and this is before then. So... but yeah, we're getting close to Rebels, which is very exciting. But the other cool thing about this, I know Joel here will have thoughts on this, but people who read the old Thrawn novels, the non-canon ones, but the Heir to the Empire trilogy from the 90s, will recognize a lot of Thrawn's underlings here. His assassin, Rook, and the Imperial officer, Paleon. Those are characters from those books. Paleon's kind of a cool character because he's the first Imperial officer who's really kind of humanized. And like I remember reading the first chapter in Heir of the Empire that's from his point of view. And it's just like, it felt like you're getting like an Imperial officer's head for the first time. And it really just kind of like humanized him. But it's just kind of a cool, like, long-term Star Wars fan thing to see, like, oh yeah, those characters are, being used in the Disney canon stuff. Did you have any other thoughts on Morgan Elsbeth?
I don't think so. I'm kind of scared, excited to see Thrawn.
Yeah.
I'm always like, yay! And then, you know what's funny?
He's such a good bad guy.
He is a great bad guy. My every time I see Thrawn's face, though, the first thing I think of is him holding Hera's family's tribute, like her little T cross, where it's like her family totem.
Yeah, because he's obsessed with all the art and the artifacts.
Yeah,
He loves culture. He's a student of culture.
Well, I mean, that, as an art history buff, traumatized me. Like, watching that the first time. I was like, this fucking asshole. Like, all this other stuff, yeah. And then also he's gonna have this and rub this in her face and just deepen my hatred of him. And so every time I see his face, I think of that totem, and I'm like, you dick.
Well, like, Lars Mikkelsen is so good at, like, that cold... It's not even, like, an evil voice. It's it's too cold and calculated and uncaring to, like, really be evil. Like, it's not going to concern itself with, like, oh, I don't do hatred. Like, that's not something that, like... But, like, he has such love and respect for the Empire. And in a lot of ways, he's, like, worse than the typical Imperial. Because he's like, the Empire is such a brilliant machine, but, you know, unlike all these other officers, I see the problems before they even become problems. And I'm the one out here, like, I'm really trying to protect this beautiful Empire.
Yeah.
And it's
very calculated.
Yeah, but he also, like, loves and respects fascism. You know, it's like he talks about, like, we have to defend it. We have to, like, root out all these possible future problems. That's why I see the advantage in the TIE Defenders. But
do you know, someone pointed this out to me once, I cannot remember who, but Thrawn is, like, one of the only aliens that is such high ranking in the Empire. And that itself is so telling of how awful he is for them to accept him into these higher ranks, because he's other. Yeah. You know, like, the Empire in general would cast out, like, alien species claiming, like, they're animals or you know what I mean, savages.
It's probably messed up for a white person to say this, but I hate the police, so I'm going to say it anyways. But it's like when you see, like, a black cop, and you're like, man, that guy is going to try, like, so hard to impress, like, the racist white cops around him.
Yeah, it is kind of like... It's
I can say that because my sister's ex is a black cop, and he's a fucking asshole. But I don't think that's the reason why.
It's on the record.
But yeah, I just think cops in general are going to be dicks.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But yeah,
so...
But I worry about him, like, trying to be extra racist to impress all of his racist white cop buddies.
Right. I think that is something interesting about Thrawn, is, like, recognizing that he has made such a high rank as an quote-unquote, like, alien species.
Also,
like,
fuck you, Dylan. Learn to pay your child support on time, you goddamn asshole. But anyways...
Are we ending it there?
Just going on a rant. But people like when we're fired up and passionate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Warwick Davis voices Rook. I did not know that.
Well, I don't know if I'd call that voicing. He's more just like
grunting.
He's like.
But, but I didn't know that was.
I didn't know that either.
That's
so
interesting.
Cool.
Okay, I think that's everything I got.
Well, in that case.
What are we doing? We're doing Andor next, guys. This is going to be the first time I rewatch Andor.
Wait, I did want to say, like, one more thing about Thrawn.
Oh, okay, go for it.
The way that, like, he gives Morgan Elsbeth, like, oh, here's, like, 3 of my Star Destroyers. They're at your disposal now. When, like, she agrees to work for him after he's, like, tested her. Uh-huh. And is like, okay, like, I'm going to help support your TIE Defender program. When that happens... and he says, like, yeah, these are your resources now to use as you see fit. That reminded me of something they point out in the books, is that unlike Vader and Palpatine, who just, like, choke people to disappoint them, they just choke them to death, Thrawn just, like, really rewards when you do something that he likes. So it's like, they were really, the writer Timothy Zahn was really trying to make Thrawn different. Yeah. From, like, Vader and the Emperor.
He uses positive reinforcement and gentle parenting.
But like, he's still a pretty nasty guy.
He
so
is.
that makes him, in a lot of ways, like, it makes him, like, scarier.
Yeah,
but.
I totally agree. Because he's like a Venus flytrap or something. It's like, or something like where it's like a sweet smell and like a, you know what I mean? and they reel you in, and then
you attract more flies with honey than vinegar.
Yeah.
But I still would be scared of this guy. He's got scary organs that play whenever he's on screen.
Yeah, if you didn't know, the music will tell you.
I think we did it, Taylor. That's everything we had to report on. Tales of the Underworld, Solo, a Star Wars story, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and some Tales of the Empire. We're now complete with Tales of the Underworld. We're complete with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's funny because we watched all of Maul and all of Obi-Wan Kenobi in the same day.
Yeah.
There's only 4 episodes of Maul currently, so not much of an accomplishment. And again, we'll cover that at some point post-Grogu when we talk about all 10 episodes.
Yeah.
We've passed where they happened, and so all that Maul shit, whatever goes on with a Twilight girl, with a turtle man, all of that shit, that's happened. That's in the past. We're now at 5 BBY. We are 5 years away from the Death Star blowing up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm so excited for Andor.
Yeah. Next time we're talking about all of Andor Season 1. All 12 episodes.
It's going to be a long episode. I can already tell. Like, strap yourselves in.
Originally, I wanted to split it in 2. I wanted to do 6 episodes and 6 episodes.
But we're on a time crunch to get all this in before the movie.
It honestly might be like...
I mean, we could even do
It's probably going to be our longest stream ever.
Like 3 hours?
Maybe.
Well, we could maybe... We'll talk, but we may split it in 6 and 6, and we'll do a
I think we can just come up with good notes ahead of time.
I'd be fine powering through it. I think we can do it. I think it's good to talk about this series specifically as a giant thing. It's
also... personally my favorite thing Star Wars has ever done since the original trilogy, and it's like I don't see them topping this, honestly. Like this is kind of like the perfect Star Wars show I always wanted for me, for the things I want. But I also really love Rebels, and I look forward to talking about Rebels after Andor Season 1, and then we're gonna jump around in Season 2 of Andor and Season 2 of Rebels. We'll do some streams where we talk about a little Rebels and a little Andor.
Yeah.
The next few weeks are going to be fun, though, because these are my 2 favorite things in all of Star Wars are Rebels and Andor. And it's just hitting me right now that as soon as I shut up, me and Taylor are going to go start watching it. Yeah. So on that note...
Incentive to get out of here?
I'm very excited to get out of here, only because that means I'll get to come back and have more fun Star Wars discussions with you and with Joel and with anyone else out there checking out the Other Star franchise. So we will go ahead and wrap things up. But until next time, as always, remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.